South Africans are dusting off their vuvuzelas and makarapas. I know I wore one yesterday and getting ready for Bafana Bafana's quarter-final. Tickets for that match have been selling like hotcakes. The man to my right-hand side now is from the LOC Chief Communications Officer, Sipho Sithole. Mr. Sithole, good morning. Are you enjoying it so far? Is it stressful? Are you having nightmares?
I'm having a huge smile as we speak, Gareth. It's been amazing, You know what we've been through, pulling off a tournament like this with the limited resources and the time that we had. But the response from the soccer fans has just been amazing, and it's just spectacular.
There was some criticism leveled at your organisation that you did have enough time to try and put together an even better tournament. Nothing wrong with the tournaments, according to you, at the moment. Do you think you could have done better?
Well, what can we say? We had the time that we had, and we planned within the limited resources that we have, and we have pulled what is the ultimate soccer tournament on African soil, and that's where we are now. And we are seeing queues and scores of people queuing up, trying to buy tickets. And we've been saying to them, on the 26th of September last year, we made an announcement about the ticket sales, and we were on the people saying, go buy your tickets, go buy your tickets. But I think they were waiting for the performance of Bafana Bafana. And now they're just selling. As a matter of fact, the quarterfinal on Saturday is sold out in Durban. So that's where we are.
Last night in Port Elizabeth, there was talk of only 2,000 people or just under arriving at that stadium. What were the figures from last night's match? And if it's so low, why was it so low?
I did not get the figures of last night, but I know that the booked tickets were about 11,000 for that game, including some of the invites, the comps that we had. But obviously you would know that PE has been lagging behind with regard to ticket sales. And it's
so
just
why
been
host it there if it has been lagging behind in future? Is it not a good metro to be hosting big football tournaments?
There could be a number of things. It's the Eastern Cape, in terms of the disposable income of the people there, is very low. We know that it's one of the poorest provinces, but I think they have supported in the best way that they could. And it could be better, and we would look into it in future and how we can. And also, there is no soccer team now in Port Elizabeth, so also the soccer culture has sort of dwindled a bit. So those are the types of things that maybe we need to look at in terms of development of soccer in that region, so that we can get people back into the stadiums.
What about some of the other teams taking place? Of course, you mentioned Bafana Bafana, though that match sold out for the next the quarter-final. The attendance of some of the other African sides playing in South Africa, what have those numbers been like? Has it been below what you were expecting?
You know, what I would like to see go through is Ethiopia, and I would have liked to have seen DRC going through. Because, for instance, in Rustenburg, Ethiopia's been filling up almost half the stadium just from Ethiopians. And even with the DRC, they've been based in Port Elizabeth. They were in Durban last night, and they were there in numbers. They've been moving between the cities in buses. How
do you know that they're Ethiopian fans?
Oh, because they are Ethiopians, and also the way they, the colors, their soccer shirts that they are wearing there. And we also have, we do track the movement of the fans. How many Ethiopians are leaving Joburg for Rustenburg? We know, for instance, that the other day there were 13 buses that left here, just of Ethiopian fans. And when the Congolese went to Port Elizabeth, there were 7 buses, and they kept adding and adding. So there's a huge contingent of those fans attending this.
Just before we start wrapping up, Mr. Sithole, is it not true that having a stadium under capacity, you mentioned 11,000 for one of the other games, does that mean the stadiums are still running at a loss? You might be getting the numbers and it looks good on TV up to a certain tier. Are the stadiums still losing money by hosting AFCON?
I cannot comment on the stadiums and the economy of the stadiums themselves, because I don't know what the business model for those stadiums, and I don't know how they sustain themselves. But in terms of the numbers that we have seen at these stadiums, at the Africa Cup of Nations, I'm saying we might have the record attendance of all times, but we'll see.
Final question to you, as briefly as you can. Out of 10, I always like to do this, how would you rate the LOC with the way you've handled AFCON?
What do you think?
No, you tell me. This is why you're here. You have the great job in the bright shirt.
We'll talk on the 11th of February.
Talk on the 11th of February.
Yes.
Interim results? No?
Yeah, we'll talk on the 11th. Thank you.
Sipho Sithole of the AFCON Local Organising Committee. Good luck for the rest of the tournament. Thanks for coming in, joining us from the LOC. Sipho Sithole. We'll have that bit of the interview for you a little bit later in the morning.